Jim Swinton waves the flag, and away we go. Zanardi, Rahal, Vassar, and Michael Andretti, the first four into turn one. Greg Moore making a move alongside Mark Blundell. Heavy braking coming up for turn three, the slowest turn on the racetrack. From high overhead, it looks much like the streets of Long Beach, California we visited much earlier this year in round four. Field going slowly, but it looks fairly
There
clean.
was a little bit of an incident back there. It looked like somebody came out of the corner, missed their gear. I couldn't tell if it was Paul Tracy or Allen Jr. Looks like
That's Dennis
bumped
Batolo
back there, dived out, touched another car. That's Dennis Batolo. He's had a lot of trouble down in that corner all weekend long. I think he's got a special pass in that runoff area.
A toll booth down there would have earned a lot of money this weekend. Everybody's been taking to the escape road. Through the shadows of BC Place, down to turn 10. Oh, Paul Tracy, the right front wheel destroyed.
I think that happened when he came out of that corner. He had to move out. A car slowed in front of him. He had to move over. I couldn't tell who it was.
Let's take another look. Coming out of the chicane.
See, he's already damaged the wheel down there. That's after the hairpin. I'm sure that's when he moved over on that slower car coming out of this hairpin you see right here.
We couldn't see exactly what it was that ripped the right front corner off of Paul Tracy's car, but that will pretty much put paid to his title chances in 1997. Our pictures are coming to us from Molstar Sports and Entertainment. So Paul Tracy is now gone. The third race in a row that Paul Tracy has run one lap or less.
And of course, that does not do any help for his championship hopes right there. You go out, unless something happens to Alex Zanardi or some of the guys in the front. And what that's so critical about, it can move him way down the field as well. He can move down a couple of more spots. Some other guys can have a good race today and bump him out of a chance for a top three finish in the championship.
You ride with Michael Andretti, looking pretty smooth here. Dennis Batolo has found the tire wall. That's in the first of the two backstretch chicanes. A chicane that was loosened up slightly to make it a little easier to take. No sign of yellow flags. We'll take this opportunity for a break and be back with more. The Molson Indy Vancouver continues in a moment. Alex Zanardi up front. Stay with us.
His name is Nanook. When he speaks, the Arctic trembles. And when he has a party, the Arctic rocks. The Molson Ice Polar Beach Party with collective soul deep in the Canadian Arctic. Look for specially marked cases of Molson Ice, Golden, and Canadian. Nanook wins.
Firestone has developed a tire technology so advanced they use it on Indy cars in the worst possible condition, the rain. And if it can handle 172 miles per hour wet, 55 is a piece of cake. Introducing the Firehawk SC50, made possible by Unity, our ultimate tire technology, and by a tread patterned after our Indy rain tire, the Firehawk SC50, for the rain, for the road.
In 1996, Ford tore up the tracks of NASCAR. Wrapped up 2 Trans Am championships. Took one off-road title after another. And this Ford Indy car won more races than any other Indy car. That kind of winning technology makes its way into the Ford you can drive. In other words, when we win, we make a big production out of it.
Degrees below zero to 475 degrees above. Nothing outperforms Mobil 1. New Mobil 1 0W30. Superior protection when you start your car.
ESPN Speed World coverage of the Molson Indy Vancouver is being brought to you by Molson Breweries, makers of Molson Golden. Beauty, eh? By Firestone, America's tire since 1900. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Welcome back to Vancouver. We are under a full course caution. There is Dennis Bartolo, who has climbed out of his car after nosing it into the tire wall on the backstretch. The pit action is going on. That is P.J. Jones. The 98X means he started his backup car after mechanical problems as the field was forming up on the grid. Now here's what happened to Paul Tracy moments ago.
Okay, Paul Tracy's right there. He's moving up now. See the slow car? He misses a gear or something. Paul has to dive out. It looked like it was Andre Ribeiro that he moved out on, and I've got a feeling that he banged that wheel or ran over it and damaged the car right there, because we saw him go up the escape road was the next corner.
The right front wheel was ripped away. Paul Tracy is out of the car, and he's with Gary Gerald.
Well, Tracy, have you ever had a string of luck in your racing career like these last 3 events where you've been a first lap victim?
I mean, I've had a string of bad luck, but really, we've gotten past the first lap. It's extremely frustrating for me and for the team. I mean, you know, but that's the situation that we're in. I mean, we're starting towards the back of the grid, and it's tough back there with everybody moving around. And, you know, we got beside Boiselle and just kind of ran out of room, and he moved over, and we hit, and I went up on 2 wheels, almost flipped over again like last week. My helmet almost scraped the wall. I was up on my side, so yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, I thought we could have done well today, but you know, maybe next week.
I'm sure that up until maybe 6 weeks ago, you still thought you had a great chance to win a championship.
Well, I thought so too. I mean, it's been definitely frustrating. We've had a frustrating car. We've had a frustrating time on all the road courses this year, and you know, we're looking forward to getting next year's car, start testing right away, and you know, maybe we can build a championship-winning car next year.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, during that great run earlier this year, Paul Tracy was dominant. As you see, Walter Salas headed for the pits. What a story this team has been this weekend. Financial troubles left them without engines for the weekend, but they managed to get things sorted out in time for Walter to go out in the morning warm-up and put in a lap within 115% of Alex Zanardi's pole time. So kart officials decided to let them go out and race. They've got a lot of work ahead of them today. Let's go down to Jan Bikas.
Well, we've seen a couple guys on pit road, and of course, both of those who had mechanical trouble. For Walter Salas, like you said, didn't have engines until this morning. What they are doing is they're taking this opportunity under a full course caution to come in, get new tires and fuel. They're out of sequence, but when you're running at the back of the pack, why not bring the car in, make a change? PJ was in the spare car, didn't have a chance to run it, so they're just hoping maybe there's a lot of green and it will pay off in the end.
All right, thank you, Jan. Alex Zanardi at the head of the queue. We anticipate the green flag coming out. If Alex leads 12 laps of this race, he will surpass Paul Tracy for most laps led thus far this season. That tells you something about how dominant Paul Tracy was in the first 6 or 7 races of the year. Now Zanardi hoping to get a jump on the field, gets into the power. Hold a little speed through turn 10 and then sweep onto the start-finish straightaway, looking for the green flag. Bobby Rahal second, Jimmy Vasser in third. And Michel Jourdain is sideways down in turn 10. A local yellow is all for the moment. The green flag is still waving from the flag stand.
Car did not look damaged down there. It looks like he just looped it. Of course, he's going fairly slow. See Michael trying to control that coming out of there. The tires are a little cold, jumping around a little sideways as he tries to put the power down.
Under the shadows of BC Place, home of the CFL British Columbia Lions, there is Jourdain, who had a strong qualifying performance.
Now, everybody, you can see the car jumping around on that. Every time you see a car going over a bump, oh, he tried to, little Al and him got tangled together.
Al Unser Jr. and Michel Jourdain making it 3 wide down there in the entry to 10.
This goes to show you, Bob, there's so few passing places. It's so narrow. You've got to be aggressive and make something happen. But there's so little room down there, it only takes a little tap and it sets you sideways.
Into turn 3, about a 30-mile-an-hour corner for these cars capable of speeds in excess of 200. Watch him trying to shift and hold the car with one hand.
Well, that was saying just a minute ago, if you see the cars bouncing around, if you can visually see them, it is a very rough ride for the driver in there because these cars have very little suspension movement. They're bouncing up and down, and that's very tough on the driver, the car, and particularly the gearbox.
This is Michael Andretti's 209th career start, tying his father Mario, who is here this weekend as always, for third on the all-time series list.
And Bob, in regards to Michel Jourdain, he has radioed back to the pits here and talked to Dale Coyne and said that in fact the car is okay, that he was touched by Al Jr. They had a chance to see the replay as well, but so far they feel as though the car is not damaged. He will continue and not come on pit road until the pit window.
And we might also add, John, in that situation that they had to change an engine after the morning warm-up. They were out here, one of the last cars to leave the line. They were checking out a gremlin, and they found a valve spring problem, so they had to make a motor change, then got out here to start the race to have this frustration.
Watch Michael Andretti threading his way along behind Mauricio Gugelmin in 4th and 5th. Michael's father Mario had lots of starts before the Championship Auto Racing Teams organization was founded back in 1979. But in the kart series, Michael and Mario locked together once again in the record book, at least for this weekend here in Vancouver. Fastest part of the racetrack.
That's also the spot where Michael says he's holding on for dear life every time he goes down through that turn 2.
Ask any of these drivers what it's like to race here at Vancouver, and a lot of them roll their eyes. They are earning their money today. Zanardi leads Rahal, Vassar, Gugelmin, Andretti, and Herta. We'll be back.
If you're looking to buy a Honda, you come and see me, Honda Bob. 22 years later, the House of Honda is still the one to see. Whether you're in the market for an easy-to-ride scooter, the all-new Rebel, or the brand-new CBR 900, we have the best selection and the best deals in town. If you want to buy a Honda, see me, Honda Bob. The House of Honda, 172 East Prospect Avenue, Mamaroneck.
How much is your home really worth? Find out with a free home market analysis from Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Service. After all, who would know the value of your home better than Better Homes and Gardens? So if you're thinking of selling or just want to know how much your home is worth on today's market, call for your free home market analysis. There's no cost or obligation.
Call your local Better Homes and Gardens broker today. Offices in Bronxville, Eastchester, Larchmont, Rye, and Scarsdale.
Professional athlete, often revered, respected, but recently tarnished by run-ins with the law. What explains the rash of athletes and coaches finding themselves on the wrong side of the justice system? What responsibility does the big business of sport bear in creating the problem? And what, if any, solutions are they offering to solve it? Take a look at a growing problem surrounding sports in America. Sports Under Arrest, Outside the Lines, on ESPN.
Having said that, we're also beginning to see a lot of marbles, the bits of rubber off these soft tires, building up offline. 15 laps completed is now official. Alex Zanardi, in addition to all of his other records, has now led more laps this year than any other driver in the series. Out from under BC Place into the bright sunshine. Farron running second in your picture in the red, white, and blue number 5 had a heavy crash on Friday when he backed into the wall in the part of the racetrack we just left. Rahal going underneath Hiro Matsushita as the lapping begins.
But as we see, what that allowed Jimmy Vassar to do was move up on him. So look here. It looks like Jimmy Vassar's losing a little ground to Bobby on the straightaway.
Now looking at the upper left.
That's Alex Zanardi. Alex Zanardi has missed the hairpin. He has missed the hairpin. Bobby Rahal, look, he's coming out behind. He's now in about way back.
He's going to have to wait for that line of cars to get by. They will not let him out until it is safe to do so.
He wants to go, but they've got to give the right of way to the guys on the track. And see, he stalled it.
He's going to need a push start. Let's take another look. Going down into 3.
Just Just gets in there a little bit late, locks up that right front, makes a smart decision. Look, I can go up the escape road. Hopefully he won't lose too much ground. That was a mistake. But if he had tried to turn in there, he would have taken a chance of smacking the wall.
There is Chip Ganassi, his car owner. In the background, Mo Nunn, the engineer. Was it the bumps that claimed Alex Zanardi right there?
I would say so. You can go in there just a little bit too far. Michael Andretti told you and I earlier, Bob, that if you get in there just a foot too far, the car starts moving over the bumps. You lose the grip under braking, and it's all over. You just miss the corner by that little bit.
New race leader, Bobby Rahal, with Jimmy Vasser just behind him. Boy, either of these guys, championship or not, would love to pick up a race win here. It's been a long time for both of them. This is the first time Bobby Rahal has led this year since the US 500 at Michigan, before he crashed out of the lead there when he got up too high.
Bob, any of those first three drivers, Big Mo would like to have a win. They don't care about the championship. They're just trying to score their first win in a long time.
You know, Bob and Daddy, this brings to mind, remember the circumstance at Cleveland that started the hot streak for Zanardi this season when he went all the way to the back of the field, and then we watched him make the banzai run, and he came all the way through to win that rascal. Well, what's he going to do on this circuit? Because you don't have the wide open spaces at Cleveland. He reported nothing on the radio to his crew. Totally silent.
Right now, Alex Zanardi is listed as 23rd in the field. He has a lot of work ahead of him. He doesn't need to win this race. You can be sure he doesn't want to finish 23rd. We'll be back with more from Vancouver.
We're the McKenzie brothers, eh?
How's it going?
Our topic today is the beauty shot.
Yeah, look how beautiful it is. Look at that head. It's making me kind of thirsty right now.
Hey, you can't drink beer on TV, eh? It's illegal.
Okay, fine. Cut.
You drank the beer? Is that a problem?
No way. It evaporated. And I'm still thirsty.
Go!
Cut.
We're gonna get sued, eh? What'd you go and drink the beauty shot for?
To me, there's nothing more beautiful than an empty glass, eh?
Yeah, and I get to be the designated driver. Cut!
Good thing we have nowhere to go, eh?
Cut!
Firestone has developed a tire technology so advanced they use it on Indy cars in the worst possible condition, the rain. And if it can handle 172 miles per hour wet, 55 is a piece of cake. Introducing the Firehawk SC50, made possible by Unity, our ultimate tire technology, and by a tread patterned after our Indy rain tire, the Firehawk SC50, for the rain, for the road. Your heart pounds. Your head rings. Your palms sweat. Imagine how the drivers feel. CART, Championship Auto Racing Teams. Feel the speed.
Tonight, Chipper Jones is ready to call this his team, and the Braves are ready to follow him into October. But first, they roll into Fenway to take on the Sox. Braves-Red Sox, the Sunday night baseball game of the week, tonight at 8 on ESPN.
For 35 years, I did the sports in 4 minutes. Now you got this channel with breaking news, highlights, scores. You know, I was doing sports bloopers back then. But we used to call them goofy gaffes. Same garbage.
Let's also not forget the situation. We have a Goodyear tire car leading with a Firestone second, a Firestone third, and Goodyear fourth.
Firestone is on a streak. They've won the last 8 races and 10 of the 14 rounds run thus far this year.
And Bobby Rahal said in qualifying that he felt as though the track, as it was run more, came towards the Goodyear. So theoretically, if that plan holds, that will help Michael Andretti, who runs in 4th, and Bobby Rahal, who leads.
Well, Jan, the only thing is, I don't know how he knows that unless he was putting Firestones on that car during practice. I mean, it's a good judgment call, but you can only base it on your own experience.
You may have a real story there. From the Honda Helicam, a look high overhead right there, not unlike Shoreline Drive in Long Beach, California. It's Bobby Rahal in blue and white leads the red and yellow car of Jimmy Vasser. These top 4, Rahal, Vasser, Gugelman, and Andretti, with about a 6.3 second lead over the 5th place car of Brian Herta. So it's a 4-car breakaway up front. Pole sitter and early race leader Alex Zanardi spun out at the end of the front straightaway at turn 3, or actually continued on to the escape road, but he was 23rd when he made his way back onto the racetrack. Right now he is shown in 20th place, and he continues to lap at nearly a second a lap faster than the cars ahead of him. Working lap number 25 as they pass the start-finish line. There is Alex Zanardi in heavy traffic down in turn 3, trying to pick up places as the first pit window begins to come into view. In fact, Brian Herta is already in. This is a shade early. Jan Bikas.
Yes, he comes in early. Of course, this would be unscheduled. He has made or asked for no changes. So this may just be a case of them wanting to come in at the earliest possible moment in the window to get him out of sequence. But from what we can tell from the team, there wasn't a problem. Just an early stop for Herta.
Jan, he was in traffic, so I got a feeling he just wanted to get out of step of everybody and hopefully get in front of that group.
There's the running order. Ray Hall and Vassar up front. Zanardi up to 19th. Plenty of racing still to come. Stand by for more from Vancouver.
What if you could get what you wanted automatically? You can, with the easiest way to earn free gasoline, the Shell MasterCard from Chase. Shell, moving at the speed of life.
There are no rest stops in life. Great moments fly by 1,000,000 miles an hour. But that's okay, because with its more powerful engine and refined suspension, new Camry owners are in for one smooth, comfortable ride. The new Camry. Smoother. More powerful. Better than ever.
Firestone has developed a tire technology so advanced they use it on Indy cars in the worst possible condition, the rain. And if it can handle 172 miles per hour wet, 55 is a piece of cake. Introducing the Firehawk SC50, made possible by Unity, our ultimate tire technology, and by a tread patterned after our Indy rain tire, the Firehawk SC50, for the rain, for the road.
Coming up Monday nights on ESPN, NFL Prime Monday. A look at the NFL season today. We'll take you on the field with soundtracks and a whole lot more. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, Monday nights on ESPN. This Monday night, ABC brings you the Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers in the season premiere of ABC's Monday Night Football. Check it out. Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time live, the Bears and the Packers from Green Bay. Now, just as we went to break, we had a lead change as Jimmy Vassar went down the inside of Bobby Rahal.
All right, you can see in the back of this group, the last car back there was Hiro Manchusa, and I think he must have held Bobby up just enough to let Jimmy get up on the inside. Very clean pass. Bobby wasn't going to do anything, but look at him now. He's got Big Mo all over him.
Mauricio Gugelmin, the same move that Jimmy Vassar used to get underneath the only running 3-time PPG Kart World Series champion, Bobby Rahal.
Hey guys, I can tell you what's happening. Bobby Rahal's front tires are going off, and that is the same thing that happened to his teammate Brian Herta. That is why Brian came into the pits early. He is now on the primary tires instead of the options. When Rahal comes in, he will also take on the Goodyear primaries.
You can actually, if you keep that in-car camera, sometimes you can see Bobby's front tires slightly graining, but I guess that tells us that Bobby's theory on the Goodyear tires being better and coming more to life as the run went on wasn't quite accurate.
There were 10 laps in the lead for Bobby Rahal, whose last win came 80 starts ago in 1992 on the oval at Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Now let's check out the pit window. Vassar, Gugelmin, and Rahal are all at the window. The yellow lines mean those laps were run under caution. Michael Andretti goes by Bobby Rahal.
And all three of those passes have been in the same spot. There we saw Bobby actually lock up for right front, trying to keep Michael behind him. Now we've got two Firestones first and second, but Michael, Goodyear shot in third spot.
Michael Andretti has good reason. Look at the rubber building up offline there on the front straight.
And look who's right behind him. Gilles de Ferran.
De Ferran needing to move up. As I was saying, Michael Andretti is in the running for a $100,000 bonus if he can win this race and the season finale on the Super Speedway, the California Speedway in Fontana. It's all a part of the MCI Million that would have awarded a $1 million bonus to any driver that could have won on all 4 designated racetracks that represent the 4 different types of circuits run in the PPG Cars World Series. Michael won at Homestead. The only other man in the running for the $100,000 bonus for winning 3 of the 4 is Mark Blundell, who currently runs 8. Max Pappas heads for the pits.
And Bobby Rahal right behind him. He's had enough of that tire situation.
Bobby Rahal brings it to a stop, and we're checking those front tires. There's no blisters on them, but they have a lot of what's known as graining. So now Bobby Rahal will be going to the primary tires. They're waiting for the fuel. He gets the signal, 11.16 seconds for Rahal.
That pit stop with 31 laps complete. Now 32 for Bobby Rahal, and Max Pappas gets out just ahead of him.
In the race for county executive, the record is clear. Take spending. As county clerk, Andy Spano tripled spending on staff salaries. As mayor, Ted Dunn held spending in line and even maintained a budget surplus. On taxes, Andy Spano has repeatedly called for a new Westchester County income tax and huge increases in sales taxes. As mayor, Ted Dunn held the line on taxes 3 years in a row. Proven record, proven tax fighter. Ted Dunn for county executive.
The Brad's person is really cool.
What I found was it was the best car for the money.
People have been talking about Ford's factory authorized clearance. It's Ford's biggest event of the year. Every 97 must go now. So you get low 4.8% financing on every Ford Explorer in stock.
Explorer is what we always pictured ourselves in.
4.8 financing on Explorer. It's Ford's factory authorized clearance, and it's happening now at your tri-state quality Ford dealer.
It ended up being very easy to buy.
The NASCAR Ride-Along program puts you in the action. Oh, this is great. What? He said this is great. Yeah? Yeah. Pepper really seems to be enjoying himself today. Well, he might want to get his head back in the weather. You think so? Yeah. NASCAR on ESPN. Come along for the ride. Come on, catch that guy. Catch that guy. Okay.
Mauricio Gugelmin coming back up to speed from that very slow hairpin. Jimmy Vasser 2 cars ahead, sandwiching Adrian Fernandez. Down into turn 10. Headed for the start-finish line. The race leader is Jimmy Vasser. The pit stops have jumbled the order slightly.
There's always that reshuffle, Bob, when the people are stopping. Some have not. All scrambling around. Takes a couple laps for everything to settle back down. Everybody figure out exactly where they are.
For us to figure out where they are as well. Jimmy Vasser, the race leader, trailing Al Unser Jr. as they go around Parker Johnstone in the Team Green machine. You see Al Unser Jr.'s progress from a 22nd starting position, his worst in many years. He's worked his way up as high as 15th before dropping back a couple of places. Parker Johnstone shown in 14th position.
Now you got to remember, we haven't seen Al Unser Jr. come into the pit, so he's running on light fuel. Jimmy Vasser's on full fuel, but Jimmy's got new tires, and Al Unser Jr. does not.
Unser Jr. holding up the race leader slightly. The order behind Vasser: Gugelmin, Andretti, DeFerrin, Greg Moore, Scott Pruitt, Mark Blundell, Andre Ribeiro, Brian Herta, and Christian Fittipaldi.
Of course, Al Jr. does not want to let himself get lapped. He will when they go into the pits, but he does not want to lose that lap, and this is the best thing happening to Big Mo.
Laps complete. You see the interval from each car in the order up to the front runner in the race, which right now is Jimmy Vasser, who has been very gracious about his teammates' success this year.
Oh, he locked up a right front there. That's not what you want to do early on in a run and flat spot that tire. He's lost some ground, Al Jr. I stand corrected. The scoring monitor shows that Al Jr. has made his pit stop. So I stand corrected, and now he's pulling away.
I missed that stop as well.
As I said, for us up here as well, it takes a little time for everything to catch up and do the shuffle and us figure out exactly where everybody is.
You guys are talking about Jimmy Vasser, and in particular how gracious he has been about Zanardi's accomplishments. One of the things that has really helped Jimmy Vasser this weekend is he has stopped taking the information from Zanardi's crew and engineer, because he now realizes that he has a much different driving style, and if he just ignores what Zanardi uses on his car, focuses on his own effort, he says that has really revitalized he and his engineer this weekend.
And Jan, let's update a situation for his teammate Zanardi. Even now with the field shaking out after the first round of pit stops, Zanardi back up at mid-pack in the number 12 position. But the crew has confirmed that there is a concern with the brakes. They're asking him to try to conserve the brakes. That, I think, is going to complicate his willingness or his tendency to want to be able to charge as he's come from 23rd up to 12th.
There's Mauricio Gugelmin. Both he and his teammate Mark Blundell have signed new contracts this weekend, so they'll be back with Bruce McCaw's Pac West team in 1998. There is Michael Andretti resetting our championship situation. Alex Zanardi came in with the points lead and runs 12th. Gilles de Ferran, second in points, is 4th. Paul Tracy, third in points coming in, dropped out on lap 1. Greg Moore and Michael Andretti still in the hunt as well. We'll be back with more from Vancouver.
The wrong tool. Ford F-Series with the world's only standard third door. And available new 5.4-liter Triton V8 for even more torque and horsepower.
Now you got all your holes dug, huh?
The new Ford F-Series. Built Ford tough.
Firestone has developed a tire technology so advanced they use it on Indy cars in the worst possible condition, the rain. And if it can handle 172 miles per hour wet, 55 is a piece of cake. Introducing the Firehawk SC50, made possible by Unity, our ultimate tire technology, and by a tread patterned after our Indy rain tire, the Firehawk SC50, for the rain, for the road.
Got him.
Yeah, if I could only see.
I've got the perfect thing.
The Bosch Micro Edge XL has a revolutionary dual rubber wiping element.
Move to the left a little.
It's the best cleaning, longest lasting blade we've ever made. Bosch Micro Edge XL, the most advanced wiper system ever.
Beautiful. But I think we lost the headlight.
Thursday night.
Quarterback Damian Craig is one of my favorite quarterbacks in the country, not only because of his ability, because of his desire.
Auburn, Virginia, Thursday night at 8, only on ESPN.
Oye, Boxino and ESPN. Oh, excuse me. Boxing, the first ever Latin American professional boxing tournament from San Jose, Costa Rica. The featured bout, 12-round welterweight title fight. J.C. Candelo for the United States against Wilfredo Vasquez from Puerto Rico. Tuesday night, September 2nd at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. Now, moments ago, the yellow flag came out when Richie Hearn was unceremoniously driven off the racetrack by Michel Jourdain Jr. Both drivers are now out of the race, and we have just gone back to green. Jimmy Vasser up front, but this yellow flag helps a couple of drivers back in the field, notably Al Unser Jr. and Alex Zanardi.
And it didn't exactly hurt Big Mo and Michael Andretti right there, because it bunched them up to Jimmy Vasser, close that gap up.
That was not a pass for position. Parker Johnstone runs in 15th place, a lap down. The order is Vassar, Gugelmin, Andretti, DeFerrin, Moore, Pruitt, Blundell, Herta, Fittipaldi, and in 10th place, Alex Zanardi, the points leader and pole sitter coming into this race. He went off the track at the end of the front straightaway, came back on in 23rd, and there he is right there, working his way up. Oh, and one of the Brahma cars is into the wall. I believe that's Scott Pruitt is into the tires in the chicane. Yes, it's Pruitt. Left rear tire is down.
Yes, I think he got punted from behind, probably flattened that tire, sent him sideways. And look at that. Look at that. Christian Fittipaldi just hit Brian Herta. And right there on top was, it looked like Mark Blundell got a little bit up in the air as well.
That was in turn 10. You ride with Christian Fittipaldi. No sign of yellow flags. There's Jimmy Vassar, the leader. Mauricio Gugelmin second. And Michael Andretti in third. Gilles DeFerrin fourth. Greg Moo fifth. And Alex Zanardi is now in 6th place as a result of all those collisions on the first lap following the restart. And the yellow flags come back out. Our third full course caution of the day. A very sloppy first lap after that restart. Max Pappas going very slowly as you watch Al Unser Jr.
This is what happens here at Vancouver. People are trying to make things happen. They're all bunched up. They think this is my opportunity. Alex Zanardi going out there very wide. Look at that. All the way underneath. That looks like it's Adrian Fernandez.
Adrian Fernandez and Scott Pruitt came together now down in turn 10.
Christian Fittipaldi looks underneath. Brian Herta turns in the white car. That's Brian Herta. Christian Fittipaldi was on the inside. Now look back in the field. Look, Brian Herta gets through this. We're right here in this part of the screen up there. Completely over the top of Adrian Fernandez. Damage obviously to his car.
Well, there must have been rubber-to-rubber contact to launch one car. Let's look from Alex Zanardi's onboard camera. An amazing collision between Fernandez, and watch as Zanardi, seeing no yellow flags around the racetrack, takes full advantage.
He took full advantage of that. That put Brian Herta, he had to slow, put him back in the pack.
We have another full course caution. We'll take a moment, get things sorted out, and be back with more of the Molson Indy Vancouver. Stay with us.
From 475 degrees above zero to 35 degrees below. Nothing outperforms Mobil 1. New Mobil 1 0W30. Superior protection when you start your car.
Today, the book we're reviewing is the official NFL handbook from Miller Lite. Colin, let's start with you.
Well, Phil, there's no plot. Character development is conspicuously lacking, and there's nothing remotely poetic about the language. It's 33 pages of facts and numbers.
Interesting. Bob?
How shall I put this?
Okay, Bob, we've been discussing the official NFL handbook for Miller Lite. 18 million copies in print, available in 12 packs and cases of Miller Lite.
For every lap we lead this year, we're donating $25 to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
For every pole position we win, we're donating $1,000.
And $5,000 for every victory. Man, this could get expensive.
Up through the gearbox with Alex Zanardi, the points leader, as he chases Greg Moore for 5th place in the Molson Indy Vancouver. Now, we've been watching Zanardi's car for any sign of a mechanical problem. This is for position. Inside Moore, the local hero, goes Alex Zanardi for 5th place.
Boy, Alex just dove down in the inside, made a very clean pass, but very assertive. He didn't just stick his nose in there. He stuck the whole car down there, made a very good pass.
That gives Alex Zanardi a 37-point lead over Gilles de Ferran for the championship if things ended right now. We still have 2 full races to go, as well as a point for laps led and the finishing points.
Look out here in Vancouver. Look at Zanardi. He's getting in there very deep, locking up. He's trying very hard. If he's having some brake problems, he's not showing it there.
Notice our at-the-line graphic at the upper left, including a yellow arrowhead that shows you which car has completed the fastest lap of those shown on the screen. Gilles de Ferran, the quickest on that last lap. Alex Zanardi, second fastest. Mauricio Gugelmin, the third fastest car on the track. How the normal streets are worked into making a racetrack, but they are off camber, a lot of oil down on the ground, not made for racing cars. All part of the challenge of racing on temporary circuits. Andre Rivero flashes through the screen. Gilles de Ferran, Alex Zanardi, and then Greg Moore. Zanardi has pulled away from Moore.
And is closing quite quickly on Gilles de Ferran, who's that red, white, and blue car right in front of Alex Zanardi.
Zanardi is being told by his owner, Chip Ganassi, to take it easy. He's trying to get him to plead a little bit of patience at this point, since we got plenty of racing yet to go. But there was an earlier conversation after that initial screw-up that sent him back to 23rd. He said, hey, don't worry about it. We're going to win this thing.
They've done it before. They did it in Cleveland. Alex Zanardi is flying. Here are the lap times for the cars ahead of Alex Zanardi. 57.2, 57.3, 57.2, 58.7. Alex Zanardi, 56.1.
You don't have to do too many laps like that to close down that gap. But he's not that far behind the leading gap. Group, he doesn't have very far to go, but he's got some fairly tough guys to pass. Gilles de Ferran right there in his sights. He's the next one on his hit list.
And Gilles de Ferran, more than anybody else on this racetrack, needs to keep Alex Zanardi behind him. The way things stand right now, the other 4 contenders for the title besides Zanardi are all in danger of being eliminated as you ride with Roberto Moreno. The only man with a shot right now is Gilles de Ferran, as long as he can stay ahead of the points leader. We'll be back with more from Vancouver in a moment.
First, it won a U.S. patent. Then the incredible Splitfire swiftly ignited the passions of drivers around the world. Now you can get guaranteed Splitfire performance for just $3.99. Hurry, it's the biggest savings ever.
Jimmy, what's up? I'm thirsty. Anything else? Nope.
Go where you wanna go. Leave the boundaries far behind you.
Introducing the all-new Goodyear Eagle F1 with racing-inspired dual aqua channels that sweep water away for serious traction in the wet, especially in braking. The new ultra-high-performance Goodyear Eagle F1.
Serious freedom. Goodyear, Goodyear.
Splitfire spark plugs are performance. With Splitfire, it's money-back guaranteed performance. And guaranteed performance has made Splitfire a winner around the world. Now we're ready for you with the biggest savings ever. Hurry, this pricing ends soon.
ESPN Speed World coverage of the Molson Indy Vancouver is being brought to you by American Honda, maker of fine quality automobiles, motorcycles, and power equipment. By Splitfire, enter the performance zone with Splitfire Performance B spark plugs. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires. 36 laps remain in the Molson Indy Vancouver, but the race has been run for local favorite Greg Moore. Gary Gerald.
A problem on the left front, obvious contact as the suspension and the wheel have been damaged. More through the steering wheel out, climbed out of the car. And with cheers from the crowd behind us, we'll go back and take a look.
Look, there's Alex Zanardi going down the inside of Gilles de Ferran. Seems to be his favorite passing spot. He really gets in there deep. See him in the back of your screen right up in here. He made a very clean pass there.
Squirming slightly under braking as he turns in.
I'm a little bit surprised. He must surprise those guys. They must think he's not going to pass him because that's one of the key passing spots around this track. And you'd be protecting that position if he's that close to you.
De Ferran was way over to the driver's left, giving Zanardi more than enough room to get by. So Zanardi now up into 4th, and that's a 4-point swing in the championship.
But also look in those shots. Look how far back Gilles de Ferran has fallen. He's not even a half a lap. Look at the ground. He's obviously got some kind of a problem to lose that kind of ground. So Zanardi in a half a lap.
The order is Vassar, Gugelmin, Andretti, Alex Zanardi from 23rd now up to 4th. Gilles de Ferran is 5th. Christian Fittipaldi 6th. Dario Franchitti 7th. Raul Boisel 8th. Roberto Moreno 9th, substituting for the injured Patrick Carpentier, and Brian Herta runs 10th. Zanardi going down the inside of the lapped car of Andre Ribeiro.
He's going down the inside of a lap car, but Andre Ribeiro has been running in that pack with the leaders, not holding anybody up. Again, Zanardi made a fabulous move down there. And we've been hearing from Gary that he has brake problems. That's one of the hardest places to brake. You're coming down from about 180 miles an hour. Now they're about 40.
There's Michael Andretti. He will be Alex Zanardi's next target. Right now, Zanardi runs about 1.1 seconds behind. Alex Zanardi leads Gilles de Ferran by 41 points for the PPG Cup. It's not quite enough.
Hey, what's up? This is Chris Rock getting ready to host this year's MTV Video Music Awards. Sorry, man. You okay? Will somebody please turn off the floor? All right. I got it. I'm cool. All right, the MTV Video Music Awards. I'm hosting, you're watching, it's gonna be, hey! Man, I think that chicken put my eye out.
If you're looking to buy a Honda, you come and see me, Honda Bob. 22 years later, the House of Honda is still the one to see. Whether you're in the market for an easy-to-ride scooter, the all-new Rebel, or the brand-new CBR 900. We have the best selection and the best deals in town. If you want to buy a Honda, see me, Honda Bob. The House of Honda, 172 East Prospect Avenue, Mamaroneck.
I carry cable. I got my own specialized training methods. 620 to 1. Training cord, 2.4 pounds heavier than the game cord. You can't work the orange, game day, and complete. You don't work the black. 2 areas I'm working on today. Coil speed, foot speed.
Cable training, people.
College football on ESPN2.
Streaks of rubber behind him.
Looks like that left front tire's down.
Jan Bikas.
It is, in fact, the left front tire has gone down. No indication of why. We're checking to see if there's any marks on the wheel in case there was contact. Oh, but now you can see the suspension is bent on the left front for Michael Andretti. They've shut the engine off. Michael Andretti's race is run.
You can see the suspension right there, just where it's bent. But it's obviously enough that the crew thinks that it's not safe.
It may help explain why Alex Zanardi got by Michael Andretti for 3rd quite as easily as he did. So Michael Andretti, the defending race champion, is out. It appears we have a new name on the list of winners of the Molson Indy Vancouver. We have 28 laps remaining. Here's Jimmy Vasser, Mauricio Gugelmin, and here comes Alex Zanardi down the inside, going for second. A look at the fuel window.
Big Mo's going to go back up the inside. Is it going to be enough? Alex got in there awful deep.
Some fight out of someone resisting Alex Zanardi, who drops back to third place. That could have been a potentially title-clinching pass for Zanardi, who continues to lap quicker than anybody else on the racetrack. In fact, by a considerable amount. Jimmy Vasser's last lap, 56.2. Gugelmin's 56.4. Alex Zanardi, 55.6.
And look at this, Alex Zanardi gone in deep again. Maybe he is having braking problems. He went in there very deep, lost a lot of ground.
He didn't want another taste of that escape road. Watch the field go by.
Right, and that escape road's not so good over there. You can't just do a U-turn and come back out the other end. That gives Big Mo some breathing room.
This is Roberto Moreno driving for Patrick Carpentier, who broke his left collarbone in a bicycling accident in Indianapolis last week. Moreno runs in 11th place for Tony Bettenhausen and the Alumax team.
One of the things that Alex has got to be careful of is he doesn't need to make a mistake. He's up in third spot. Score those points. Still take a chance. Everybody else is in the championship throwing it out the window. Paul Tracy, Michael Andretti, Greg Moore.
Into the pits. Into the pits comes Jimmy Vasser, the race leader.
And look, he's chugging. His head's going forward. It's like he's out of gas.
Gary Gerald awaits him.
Along with the crew, here he is. Motor is running as he gets in here. Had excellent service the first time round. Leading a race consistently for the first time since the month of May. Everything's routine. They want to get every bit of fuel. Revs up. Oh, there's very little fuel in the hose. Now he goes. Not particularly fast, but they got every bit of fuel that was available. I think Zanardi will be in the next lap.
I think that chugging down the pit road was he was probably hitting the speed control button. He wanted to go fast, but it was just holding the car back like it's supposed to do.
Pit stop is complete for Jimmy Vasser, who comes back out onto the racetrack from the race lead. More pit action here at the Molson Indy Vancouver. One of the cars in, Mauricio Gugelmin, who assumed the race lead when Vasser made his stop. 60-mile-an-hour pit lane speed limit. The Target Ganassi team awaits Alex Zanardi. He too is in.
Now this is for a position. These guys in the pits, that is second and third.
It helped win a race at Elkhart.
25 laps remain in the race. Mauricio Gugelmin out first. Once again, the Ganassi team keeping their man in for a long time. Now Zanardi is back out as well. That is Jimmy Vasser slewing into view behind Mauricio Gugelmin. Jimmy Vasser is on hot tires, while Mauricio Gugelmin will be bringing his up to temperature. Look at Vasser close on Gugelmin.
And that's for a very critical spot, as in first.
Oh, it looks like Vasser ran up a little too close coming out into the sunshine.
He needs to get in front of him before Big Mo gets those tires up to temperature. This is going to be a critical spot down into this next corner.
Turn 10 coming up.
Oh, Jimmy's really locked up there. That is going to hurt him a lot because he held on to that a long time with a locked up brake. That's going to flat spot that right front tire and hurt him as the run goes on.
Vasser remains a car length back as they head for turn 3. Another obvious passing spot, but no, the reigning champion cannot get it done against Gugelmin. Meanwhile, in the pit lane, Michael Andretti is standing by. Take it away, Jan.
Well, Michael, I know that you're watching this battle as well on the big screen. There's great racing out there. I know you wanted to be part of it. Where did you make contact and how did it happen?
Going into the second chicane, I hit the inside wall. I just I was just driving too hard to try to keep up. My tires were going off really bad, and I was trying to keep up with the Firestones, and I just made a mistake just driving too hard.
Can you believe that Zanardi went all the way back to 22nd position and then had the kind of speed he did when he caught you?
Yeah, his car was hooked up. I mean, he could just put the power down, and, you know, that's the difference.
All right, Michael Andretti, the tires went off. Now he's on the sidelines.
And so another potential PPG Cup champion has fallen by the wayside. Race leader Gilles de Ferran has made his pit stop. Brian Hurt has shown up front. We'll be back.
Go where you wanna go. Find the road you've never taken.
This is the tire that changed driving forever. The all-season Goodyear AquaTread with the advanced deep groove aqua channel that sweeps water away for serious traction in the wet, especially in braking. Goodyear AquaTread.
Serious freedom. Goodyear, Goodyear.
Michael came onto the scene in Indy cars as a winner. I'm very proud of the fact that he's carrying on the Andretti name. I'll never forget the first really competitive pass that he did on me. We banged wheels a little bit, and he was gone. Adios, Dada.
The Andrettis rely on the same Haviland Formula 3 motor oil you can buy right off the shelf.
That's my boy.
And for your cooling system, get Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze.
A storm rolling in, and Mom's not due for another hour.
Hey, what about me?
A pretty tight spot, unless you have MCI.
33.
The kids dial one special number, and that one call goes to Mom's office, then to her cell phone, then right to her.
I'm so glad you called.
And Mom rolls in right before the storm.
Let me in the phone booth, Mom. No room, you dweeb. Dork, dweeb, dork.
Danny Sullivan, Jan Beekes, and Gary Gerald with you. The order is Herta, Gugelmin, Jimmy Vasser, and then this man, Alex Zanardi, who came in with a shot at the PPG Cup and its $1 million bonus. He still needs a point over Gilles de Ferran, who runs 6th, to clinch here in Vancouver, or the title fight will go on to next week's race in Monterey, California. Alex Zanardi much quicker on that last lap than any of the men ahead of him. Now a look at the fuel window. Brian Herta did not pit, along with Gugelmin, Vasser, and Zanardi, who run behind him. He's within roughly 6 laps of the beginning of his fuel window.
Bob, let's not forget, he got tapped and was half spun in that one corner at that crazy restart, and he went ahead and pitted, so he pitted later than everybody else, topped it up.
Word from the pits is Brian Herta will need a splash of fuel. He cannot complete the 19 laps remaining in this race without some extra fuel.
And let me tell you, Big Mo is going to be very tough with 19 laps remaining and his first win in sight. He is going to be awful tough. He's been a little bit upset that Mark Blundell got the first 2 wins for Pac West. He was kind of the team leader, felt that he was right there, qualifying always great, and now he's poised to take his first IndyCar win.
Take a look at the nose of Brian Herta's car. You see the rubber, either contact with somebody else's wheel or perhaps took a shot of one of these marbles bouncing off the car. The intervals between the top 4. There goes Alex Zanardi. Back up front to Herta. You see that he is being caught slowly but surely by Mauricio Gugelmin. And behind Gugelmin by Vasser and Zanardi. 18 laps remaining in the race. 18 laps to a possible first victory. Oh, and Alex Zanardi is in the runoff again, down in turn 3.
But he's stalled. He's stalled. That's why he cannot go forward there. He has stalled the car. That's why he's signaling everybody. Push me, push me, push me. Please, I've got to get going. Please, look, he's begging there.
So much for giving orders. Now we're praying.
But, you know, that's a very difficult spot for the workers to come out because they're in the braking zone. If somebody locks them up, they're in danger. Look at Chip going, I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
His team won the title last year with Jimmy Vasser going for 2 in a row. No team has done that since Penske Racing did it with 2 different drivers back in the early 80s. Now Alex Zanardi has the engine running again, but he's going to have to wait.
But there was Big Mo. He's in second spot, but when Brian Herta pits, he'll probably take the lead there. That means he's a lap behind the leader.
With 17 laps remaining. There goes Gugelman. Running in second place to Herta. Gugelman had a taste of getting almost within view of your first checkered flag of the year. He did it on Belle Isle in the Detroit River earlier this year before he ran out of fuel on the last lap, as did his teammate Mark Blundell, and Greg Moore came through to take his second of 2 straight victories. Right now, Brian Herta has a shot at win, as he did at Mid-Ohio earlier this year. Gilles de Ferran runs 5th. We'll be back.
Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me.
I just adore a penthouse view. Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue.
The chores.
The stores.
Fresh air.
Times Square.
Ford Explorer. It's at home anywhere.
Its name is Nanook. In the Canadian Arctic, he's worshipped and feared. And this year, we're having a party in his backyard. The Molson Ice Polar Beach Party with Collective Soul in the polar bear capital of the world. Look for specially marked cases of Molson Ice, Golden, and Canadian. Nanook awaits.
Go where you wanna go. Find the road you've never taken. Pushing the boundaries back when you're up to speed and you wanna break out from the pack. Good gear, like eagles fly. Good gear, make the road your sky. Serious freedom. Good gear, good gear.
Welcome back to Concord Pacific Place. Round 15 of the PPG Kart World Series. The Molson, Indy, Vancouver, and the top 3 have closed up. Make that the top 4 cars closing up. Allenzer Jr., who started 22nd in this field, is up to 4th as you ride with Alex Zanardi, who started on pole, went off the track, dropped back to 23rd place, worked his way back to 4th, and then went off again. Right now, Zanardi shown in 10th place, a lap down.
Now, he just got his lap back on Big Mo. He's trying to do it on Brian Herta, who's right there leading the race, hoping that a yellow would come out and it'd put him back to the back of the field. Big Mo was not concerned about that, was not going to get into a battle, take a chance of getting knocked off. He knows Brian Herta has got to make a stop before the end of this race, and he's sitting in the catbird seat.
Danny, we can't help but wonder down here watching the reaction of the crew for Zanardi if in fact it was that brake problem again. He may have gone to the pedal and nothing happened that cost him into the runoff area. Same spot.
Gary, I think that's right. He's probably having some braking problems, but he locked up again, getting down in there. He just missed the hairpin and stalled the car. And my question would be, if your car's working that good and you're already up to 3rd and you've got a brake problem, you got to back off a little bit. But we do not know what's going on in that cockpit. Here's a guy very talented, obviously poised to win his first championship. Look right there. He's sneaking down the inside of Brian. Oh, I think they touched. I think he touched with Brian Herta.
Oh, from our Honda Helicam, you saw the both cars were blocked slightly. Oh, Herta touches him, and the race leader is in the tires.
And I can't believe it. Zanardi wanted that lap back, just dove up the inside, banged Brian, and pushed him right off into the wall.
I believe Alex Zanardi might be in for some criticism after this race. We have a full course caution. Brian Herta, who lost his race lead at Mid-Ohio earlier this year when a tire went down. The man who passed him and took the win was Alex Zanardi. They were bottled up behind a slower car in the hairpin. Then they got to this corner. Zanardi forced the issue up the inside, fully alongside Brian Herta, it must be said, and then they touched wheels.
But Brian's already turning into the corner right here. Brian's in there. He's not seen him, bangs him. Zanardi once again escapes, but I've really got to say that's Zanardi's fault there. He was way down on the lead. That was the leader of the race.
Another look from overhead. I can't believe Zanardi's car wasn't damaged in that collision.
I can't either. Once again, just like in Australia when he banged with wheels with Paul Tracy, he comes away unscathed, and Brian Herta is in the fence. I really got to believe that that is Zanardi's over-enthusiasm for the mistakes that were made during this caused that accident.
Brian Herta getting pushed, and he is back underway. The safety car coming up from behind. You are on board now with Alex Zanardi, who has certainly had an up-and-down day, struggling to win his first championship. But no matter how he manages to win that championship, Alex Zanardi is ready. Alex Zanardi's rise to the brink of the PPG Cup Championship has been a model of efficiency. 8 victories in 30 starts over 2 seasons.
All we've been saying to ourselves is look, I mean, we know that we can do it.
And with good reason. Last year, driver turned car owner Chip Ganassi and his team dominated. Jimmy Vasser won 4 times in the first 6 races and never looked back en route to the championship. While Zanardi swept to Rookie of the Year honors, capped by the famous Laguna Seca Pass, putting an exclamation point on a dream season. This year, however, Zanardi is finished with being a bridesmaid.
That's something that burns inside myself. You know, I'm always being a very good second, but it's time for me to finally step on that last step of the podium. So I want to try. There is so many important things in life that if I won't get it for reasons that are behind my control, I won't make a drama out of it. I know that you need also to be lucky, and if I will win the championship this year, I will have to say to you, I got lucky, you know. And you know, sure enough, I did my part. I did the best I could, but I got lucky as well.
Lucky or not, Alex Zanardi, his passionate driving and his trademark victory donuts have made an indelible mark on the PPG Kart World Series, and in the eyes of many, the Cup would be a fitting reward. Well, right now it's a 2-man battle for the PPG Cup. Alex Zanardi currently shown in 9th place, and Gilles de Ferran, who is in 3rd place. If the points were to be awarded right now, Alex Zanardi would lead the championship by 29 points with 44 still to be won. Jimmy Vasser has led the most laps in the race. There is Brian Herta, who was bumped out of the lead in a collision with Alex Zanardi just moments ago, bringing out our 4th full course caution of the day.
You know, we've talked about Alex Zanardi, but I think we've got to tip our hat to Alonso Jr., who started back in, 22nd spot in the race, and he's worked his way up to 4th, and we haven't seen a lot of pizzazz out of him all day, but he's steadily worked his way up there, pulled away from Jimmy Vasser.
And the green flag waves once again. Mauricio Gugelmin now in the lead. Jimmy Vasser 2nd. Gilles de Ferran 3rd. Alonso Jr. in 4th, right there behind Juan Fangio. Raul Boesel runs 5th. Dario Franchitti 6th. High above, turn 3, the hairpin. There's Alonso Jr. in red and white, following the green and white car of Fangio. And Boesel,
look at that.
Ooh, Mark Blundell in the blue and white car, and Alex Zanardi flashing through the field.
He is on a tear. He has certainly given us some excitement all day. I'm not so sure the other drivers will agree with what he's done, but he has been fast.
Boy, look at the lead that Mauricio Gugelmin has been able to pull out over Vasser and de Ferran.
I still think that thing with Vasser comes back to the problem that he had was that flat spot of that tire trying to get up past Big Mo early on. He really locked it up, and I bet you that's causing him some problems.
Flying at you at 185 miles an hour, Mauricio Gugelmin leads the Molson Indy Vancouver. We'll take a break and return. 10 laps remaining in the race.
In racing, The engine is everything.
What? It's the driver.
A driver will never see a finish line without a great engine.
The greatest engine will never see a victory lap without a great driver.
At least they agree on Haviland Formula 3 motor oil, the same oil you can buy right off the shelf. And also try Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze.
The engine's the first thing to the finish line.
Not in Indy cars.
We make changes day and night to increase performance. And after winning the PPG Cup Championship, racing tradition dictates we make one more. Which suits us just fine. Because as you can see, at Honda, we never stop improving.
This is racing at Vancouver, particularly in the closing stages of the race. A lot of people have things that they need to make happen, and there's not a lot of space. Smoke off of Franchitti's front wheel, Zanardi getting sideways, and we've still got a battle at the front, which we're forgetting about, which is Gilles de Ferran, who's behind Jimmy Bassett, who wants that second place points because of his championship hopes.
As things stand right now, the PPG Cup is not won for Alex Zanardi. And the series will move on to Monterey, California. We have 8 laps remaining. Sometimes you wonder if a racing driver thinks a car is an extension of his body to be protected or simply a tool in his hands to be used.
That car that he's right behind, that red and white car, is Al Unser Jr. This guy's been through the wars, and that is for a position.
Al Unser Jr. has won the war on the streets of Vancouver 4 times, most recently in 1995. The points right now show a lead for Alex Zanardi over Gilles de Ferran by 35, with 44 still up for grabs in the final 2 races of the year. Now, will Zanardi try a move on Al Unser Jr. down in 3?
That's been his favorite spot of late, so I've got to believe he's going to have a go there. He does. He goes down the inside. Does he have enough? Smoke off the tire. Al Unser Jr. back up. Look at this. Wheel to wheel. Oh, he tapped him. He got him a little sideways there. Made a move down the inside. Look at this. Franchitti's trying to make a move.
Amazing nose-to-tail action here in Vancouver in the closing laps of the Molson Indy. Alex Zanardi now up to 4th place ahead of Al Unser Jr. I think that switch from Al Unser Jr. may have been when he looked to his left and saw that Zanardi was there.
Don't forget, he's also on the outside of a left-hander. It's dirty out there. He might have gotten on a little grit. The marble slid it a little sideways. This is the Vancouver bang and dash. We're having great racing here at the end.
Parker Johnstone maybe said it best. He called it a slugfest every year here in Vancouver. There is Gilles de Ferran. He is 3rd and still within mathematical striking distance of Alex Zanardi for the championship. He is ahead of Zanardi on the racetrack by just about 10 seconds.
Bob, there's so much going on right here. Big Mo wants his first win. Jimmy Bassett wants a great result. He's had a great weekend already. Gilles de Ferran wants more points, another podium finish. He'd like to move up into that second, get a couple of more points. Zanardi's trying to get more points. Franchitti points for the Rookie of the Year. Al Jr., a good result. It just goes on and on.
There is Gilles de Ferran, who had a heavy crash when he backed it into the wall under the BC Place Stadium on Friday. They put together the backup car, waived their Friday qualifying time, went with the backup car, put it up high on the grid, and Gilles de Ferran runs in 3rd place, still alive in the run for the $1 million PPG Cup. A handful of laps remain. We'll be back for a checkered flag here on the streets of Vancouver. Stand by. We could have a first-time win.
This simple-looking device is the key to unlock your body's hidden potential. It can change the look and shape of every line and curve on your body. Because it's the weight, the challenge, and the secret behind one of the most effective fitness machines in the world. Introducing the Bowflex Power Pro. Bowflex uses patented power rod resistance to give you an incredibly smooth, natural feel for over 60 different health club quality exercises. With features like a built-in aerobic rowing exercise, convertible grips, and convenient folding capabilities, it's easy to see why a Bowflex was selected by Fitness Magazine as the best home gym for 1997 and was awarded a Consumer's Digest Best Buy. It's time to get the body you want with no money down and payments as low as $33 a month. Call right now for your free video and brochure. Discover the body you've always wanted with the Bowflex Power Pro.
Your heart pounds. Your head rings. Your palms sweat. Imagine how the drivers feel. CART Championship Auto Racing Teams. Feel the speed.
What an amazing day it has been here in Vancouver, British Columbia at the Molson Indy Vancouver, 15th round of 17 in the PPG Kart World Series. The day began somberly after the tragic events last night in which Dario Franchitti has gone straight on. Rookie leader Patrick Carpentier is injured and is not in the race. The door was open for Dario Franchitti to pick up points in the Rookie of the Year chase. He may yet do it, but for the moment, he is stuffed into the tires from 6th place. I was going to say that after the tragedy in Paris last night in which the Princess of Wales and several other people were killed, Canada, of course, is a part of the British Commonwealth. The flags are at half staff. It was a very somber morning with speeches and moments of silence. But then it was showtime as the racers got underway. And what a race it's been. Holstener Alex Zanardi in the running for the PPG Cup. Off the track and on twice during the race. Has dropped to the back, come forward, drop back again. He currently runs in 4th place. Not enough to clinch the Cup because that man in red and white, the number 5 car of Gilles de Ferran, runs 3rd. This man, Mauricio Gugelmin, is the race leader, looking for his first career PPG Kart World Series victory. With his hand on the joystick of the computer in the timing stand, car owner Bruce McCaw has seen his driver Mark Blundell win twice this year. He may see Mauricio Gugelmin take his first. 3 laps to go of this 1.7-mile circuit.
And Bob, remember what happened at Belle Isle in Detroit for Mauricio Gugelmin when he was within a half lap of getting that first victory and ran out of fuel. They swear there's no fuel concern, and in fact the engineers have told him if you get in a situation where you have to, use that button that gives you the extra zip of horsepower.
Well, he's driving a very good, steady race. He's got no pressure from Jimmy Bassett at the moment. Jimmy's trying to protect that 2nd place spot from Gilles de Ferran and protect his teammates' point lead.
A man from Brazil with Formula One experience and now a handful of seasons in the PPG Kart World Series. A terrific qualifier. Looking for his first win. There goes Jimmy Vasser and Gilles de Ferran. The top 3 running fairly close together. The gap back to Alex Zanardi in 4th is now about 8 seconds with 2 laps remaining. 3 men up front with so much to prove, Danny. Gugelmin a win. Vasser, his best performance of the year as the reigning champion. De Ferran staying alive.
And Big Mo's not slowing down. He's still turning laps in the 56-second bracket, which is, except for Zanardi, the fastest laps out there.
I was about to say, only one man on the track is faster. Pretty considerably so. 56.7 on that last lap to the 55.6 of Alex Zanardi.
I got to tell you, the feeling that he's got right now when he sees that white flag, his first win coming, 1 lap to go is, oh, don't make a mistake. Don't have anything go wrong. Please, nothing break. He's listening to every noise in that car. He'll brake early, conservative, be really steady on his shifts, stay away from those walls.
It has been so competitive in the PPG Kart World Series this year. Mauricio Gugelmin could become our 3rd first-time winner this year. The man from Joinville, Brazil, now living in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with his wife and children.
I'd like to have a heart monitor on there because either it's not ticking at all or it's going about 1,000 beats a minute.
He could become the 36th driver to win a PPG Kart World Series event. Bruce McCaw looking on with his team. McCaw has built this team up to become one of the front-running outfits in the series, and they prove it again today. Checkered flag for first-time winner Mauricio Gugelmin. 3rd victory for the Pac-West team this year. All of them on road courses, Portland, Toronto, and Vancouver. The 8th win for a Mercedes engine, the 11th for Firestone tires, 9th in a row for the Firestone brand. Christian Fittipaldi has crashed out in turn 10, gets out of his car with cars coming on at top speed under braking. Man,
that's not the way you want to jump out right there on the last lap.
Especially with a brace on your leg as he continues to heal from that broken leg in Australia earlier. Let's take a look.
3 cars in there. They all bunched up. We saw this earlier with Richie Hearn.
A Brazilian triumvirate, Ribeiro, Boisel, and Fittipaldi. Christian getting the worst of it.
And what happens is it just gets an accordion effect, and Christian has to stand on it, turns it sideways.
Well, a celebration has broken out down in the Pac-West pits. Gary Gerald.
Oh, we're in the middle of it. Everybody coming up to hug, to kiss, to congratulate, to high-five. Bruce McCaw, what's the significance of winning in your own backyard with Mo for the first time?
Just winning with Mo is fantastic. He's been such a big part of this team, and I'm so happy for him, and it's just fantastic.
The emotion is there behind those sunglasses, and we'll let him enjoy this moment with the tears. Let's check in with the Ganassi pit. Jan?
Well, Tom Anderson obviously keeping an eye on Jimmy Vasser. Jimmy had a steady race, but boy, Alex was all over the place, up and down. But for you, got to be very impressed now that Jimmy's kind of back on track.
We had a long talk with the team and Jimmy on Monday after Elkhart. We've been at a pretty rough season this year, and we were going to throw a test in at Nazareth, and we canceled that and wanted to concentrate on this weekend, and kind of looked like Jimmy Vasser from '96. So we're pretty happy with it all today. I wish we could have, wish the gearbox would have stayed with him all day, but it wasn't to be. So second place feels pretty good right now.
What was missing in the gearbox?
Well, we had some problems in that long run there in a second, and the race course is pretty bumpy up here, and it took the edge off the dog ring, and we weren't able to use the shift without lift, and so he was having to shift the manual way. So that was a little slower than what he was been used to.
All right, well, congratulations, Tom.
Thanks, John.
Congratulations indeed. A good effort for Jimmy Vasser, but there is the man of the moment, Mauricio Gugelmin. The PPG Cup is not clinched here in Vancouver. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Introducing the 1997 Miller Lite stock car. Sure beats other sedans. The new Miller Lite Indy car. No radio, no heat, but hey, look at that handling. And if it's acceleration you're after, take a look at the Miller Lite Top Fuel Dragster. It leaves everything else at the light. Every Miller Lite car comes with our 16-second roadside assistance plan. We say, shoot, shop, and compare.
This is where Roger Staubach got his start. This is where Jimi Hendrix got his. Chances are, you weren't there. But you can be here at the Toyota Atlantic Championship, where Indy 500 victors like Bobby Rahal and Kart Series winners like Michael Andretti began their race to the top. That's why it's called the Cradle of Champions. One thing about this cradle, it really rocks.
Michael came onto the scene in Indy cars as a winner. I'm very proud of the fact that he's carrying on the Andretti name. I'll never forget the first really competitive pass that he did on me. We banged wheels a little bit, and he was gone. Adios, Dada.
The Andrettis rely on the same Haviland Formula 3 motor oil you can buy right off the shelf.
That's my boy.
And for your cooling system, get Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze.
ESPN Speed World coverage of the Molson Indy Vancouver is being brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. By Toyota Motorsports, our minds are always racing. And by Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. We hope you're enjoying your Labor Day weekend. We want to remind you ESPN has a Major League Labor Day doubleheader coming your way. First, the Cleveland Indians visit the Pittsburgh Pirates at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Then at 4 p.m. Eastern, it's the Baltimore Orioles visiting the Florida Marlins. Interleague play on Labor Day here on ESPN. Let's get down to our third first-time winner of the year, Gary Gerald and Mauricio Gugelmin.
Mauricio Gugelmin, you have waited so long in your career for this moment. I hope it's living up to the expectations. How do you feel?
Feels great. It's just very hard to describe. I mean, I'm so happy that this team did a great job today. They gave me the car to be up there at the end. We conserved fuel. The Mercedes engine was just great. The Firestone tires, the same as usual, good grip. And then in the end was just concentration to keep the car on the road, and I knew I had the car today, so I was very happy with the result. And I just have to thank everybody that support me, especially Bruce McCall, that had put this race team together, which is just great.
How hard was it to be patient on this day, particularly in the first half of the race when you were stalking Jimmy Vassars for so long?
Well, we knew we could run with him. I was saving a lot of fuel because here, despite the fact the windows are big, it's always tight on fuel. And I left my steam for the end, and that's what I did.
Does this at all make up for the disappointment of what happened at Belle Isle and Detroit when you came within a half lap of enjoying this moment for the first time in your career?
Makes up and puts a plus on top of it. I just feel great now. Thank you.
Enjoy it. Bob?
Congratulations to Mauricio Gugelmin. Here's a look at the final results. Gugelmin celebrates his new contract with his first win. Jimmy Vasser, best performance of the year, in second. Gilles de Ferran keeps the title fight alive in third. Alex Zanardi, the man in the running for the PPG Cup, finishes fourth after an interesting day at the racetrack. Good runs for Al Unser Jr. and Raul Boesel. As you take a look down through the rest of the standings, we'd like to congratulate kart officials Eldon and Fluella Ummel, who are celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary today. Congratulations to both of you. 3 men out of the running for the championship. 2 men remain in it. Alex Zanardi and Gilles de Ferran. Let's meet the points leader now with Jan Bikas.
Alex, for you, that was one of the most dramatic races we've seen for a long time. I know a lot of other drivers probably would want to talk with you after that one. You were very aggressive, moving through traffic. Most of them were picture-perfect passes, but a couple times, like with Herta, it got pretty dicey. Tell me about that one.
It's not a couple of times. It was just with Herta, and I was in. He tried to make the turn. There was not room for 2 cars.
Now, what about Al Jr.? You guys were up a little bit too, didn't you?
Well, with Al Jr., I mean, I went in the inside. Obviously, I braked too deep, and then he got me in the outside. We went side by side. It was very correct to give me the room, and then I passed him in the following turn.
Now, a couple of times you ended up down the escape road. We had some reports you had some brake trouble. Is that correct? A long pedal?
Yeah, I don't know what the problem was, but we had some brake problems, and a couple of times the brake pedal just went down completely.
So overall, are you pleased with the performance today?
Absolutely. It was obviously difficult to drive the car like that. I had to pound the brake pedal all the race long, and you know, it's disappointing because definitely we had the speed to win the race and to close the championship today. But with all that and with all it happened, I mean, I think it's a miracle that we come back with a 4th place.
Now, what about when the car stalled? There was one time you went down the escape road, were able to keep it running, but then another time the car stalled. Why was that a factor?
Well, because the brake pedal went down and my foot got stuck behind the throttle pedal. So by trying to take my foot out of it, I actually brought the pedal back with me, and it kept stuck there for about a couple of seconds, and the engine stalled. And it's a disappointment, but I'm obviously happy with all the overtaking maneuver I did in a circuit where normally it's very difficult to do it.
All right, this guy looked like he was playing a video game. Gary?
Jimmy Vasser has climbed out of his car, and it's been a long time since you've been up there leading a race, being back on the podium. Tell me about this day, because I know there was some frustration with the gearbox and the dog ring, I guess, in there.
Well, it was a lot of things in the gearbox. I was having to do it the old-fashioned way, which is very slow. You have to lift off the throttle, clutch it, and shift. And when that started happening, we really didn't have anything for Mauricio. You know, we had a good car earlier. I was stuck behind Baba. We got around him, and you know, I was really happy with the car. I thought we were in a good spot to finally win one, and just wasn't there today mechanically, but you know, all credit to my crew, Target Chip Ganassi Racing, for putting me in a position to have a chance to win. It's nice to be near the front again.
How about early when you flat spotted a tire? How much did that hold you back? Because you had to go a long time before you were able to get back in the pits to change that set of tires.
Yeah, I did, and you know, it was a hindrance. I was trying to get around Junior. You know, he was fighting because he was gonna go a lap down, and I could understand that. And he's a tough pass on the track, so I took a chance at him, and I flat spotted the tire, and then I just had to sit there and wait. And he got his yellow to come back around, and I got to go back to the front. And that's about when the gearbox problem started. And you know, it's a shame, but that's motor racing.
Well, it's nice to build some momentum going into these last 2 events.
Absolutely, we need to move up in the points.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Here's a look at the points. It's a 2-horse race for the PPG Cup. It will go on to Monterey, a race you will see here on ESPN next week. With his victory, Mauricio Gugelmin leaps from 7th to 4th in the points. We'll be back with more from Vancouver in just a moment.
Got him.
Yeah, if I could only see.
I've got the perfect thing.
The Bosch Micro Edge XL has a revolutionary dual rubber wiping element.
Move to the left a little.
It's the best cleaning, longest lasting blade we've ever made. Bosch Micro Edge XL, the most advanced wiper system ever.
Beautiful. But I think we lost the headlight.
His name is Nanook. When he speaks, the Arctic trembles. And when he has a party, the Arctic rocks. The Molson Ice Polar Beach Party with collective soul deep in the Canadian Arctic. Look for specially marked cases of Molson Ice, Golden, and Canadian. Nanook awaits.
The human polar bear. Curious winter creatures whose antics are, to say the least, a little hard to understand. Reminds me a lot of Motel 6. People may not understand some things about us, like that we're renovating nationwide and adding a few extra creature comforts. It's enough to give you goosebumps, especially when you consider you get all this for what's still the best price of any national chain. The new Motel 6. It's cool.
It's been a big day in motorsports. Jeff Gordon won his million. Alex Zanardi and Jill DeFerrin still fighting over theirs. You'll see all the highlights on RPM tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, and every weekday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. What a weekend here in Vancouver. The race victory to Mauricio Gugelmin. The points lead remains with Alex Zanardi. The championship goes on to Monterey. Final thoughts, Danny Sullivan?
What a great win for Big Mo. I think it was tremendous. Allenser Jr. proved once again he can score points just about anywhere. The championship is wide open. And at Vancouver, you have to hang in there no matter what happens because you can still score points.
Now it's on to Monterey. But coming up next, NFL Primetime here on ESPN. We want to thank you for being with us. I'm Bob Varsha for Danny Sullivan, Jan Beekes, and Gary Gerald. So long from Concord Pacific Place in Vancouver, British Columbia. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.